Hi everybody, my name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto Under 20. Just another day in the life of what we do with our food that gives us a freedom and a sanity that we can go on with the rest of the day and nobody's looking at us like the way that we used to feel as a freakazoid when our eating and our habits were out of control. Just think of how it is today. It's got to be calmer. If you are structured and disciplined and doing Keto Under 20, there's got to be a lot of sanity back in your life. But here's the deal. Today is the day after the 4th of July, so it's July 5th. And what I have to ask you is, maybe a day late and a dollar short and a carb or two short, did you have fear of missing out yesterday? So you dove in and you treated yourself? Even though, and you can fill in the even though blanks with whatever you need to fill it in with, or maybe the whole weekend. Did you make promises to yourself that this time it would be different, this time you would have it under control? You've been doing keto for a while, and you know how good you feel and how important all of this is. The consequences and the remorse of having food that you are addicted / allergic to could be how you are feeling today. And those consequences are emotional as well as physical. That just CRAPPY feeling of eating CRAPPY foods. We've all done it. We've all been there. We've all been either goaded, encouraged, or given permission. If we were on a slippery slope to begin with emotionally, and somebody gave us permission to have some of that, and last 4th of July holiday week, you were partaking and you didn't need anybody's permission. And so this year it's a whole new ball game, and maybe you held fast when the company showed up, or you showed up as company to somebody's house on Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday and Sunday, Monday too, and then yesterday on Tuesday. You probably had enough cookouts, enough food temptations, enough, come on, you look great, it's not going to hurt you, look how well you've done, type of dialogue to finally say, F it, I'm having it. And it felt so good to bite into whatever that was. I have a visual in my head. Or you went to an event, say a ball game or a parade, some sort of festivity where a trigger food is sold, and you decided, this is it. This is all I'm going to have, right? Or it was really, really hot, and everybody wanted to go for one of those things that people have after dinner. And so you said, okay, I'll get the baby size. That's what I'll do. I'll get the kiddie size. And you did, but it wasn't quite enough, or you gobbled it so fast people had barely gotten past the whipped cream on theirs, whatever. You know, it's not anything that I haven't done before, but that horrible feeling that you have emotionally and physically could last you more than just today, July 5th. It could last until the 7th. You might be constipated. It might be the opposite with diarrhea. You might have a headache. You might really want to puke, and it's emotionally because you gave in. And after all the promises, or say it was a 4 or 5 or 6 day event for you. You did so well the first few, and then you started slipping, and then you just kind of caved. And Greg didn't know what my food addiction was until we went to Maine, and I bought my binge food cake at a store, and he got to see me in action. He goes, oh, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. And I remember it. I remember it so well. And it was a horrible feeling. And that addiction kicked in, and it didn't matter how many slices, how many bites I had. I wanted the next one more than the one I was swallowing. And I knew. I mean, I already knew I was an addict. I wasn't doing Keto Under 20. So I didn't quite have the discipline. I wasn't tracking. It was before I entered Weight Watchers. So I was just hell on wheels. That's the how of it. Hell on wheels. And why did I do it? Because I was in vacation mode. Maybe some of you yesterday were in 4th of July mode, feeling that freedom. And the freedom was more than just living in the country we live in. It was the freedom of everything on the grill, on the table, in the fridge, in the freezer, at the restaurant, at the ball game, at the parade, at the fireworks, in the movie theater. It was all of it. So, FOMO has consequences, and I'm not going to tell you it was okay. You've already probably beaten yourself up enough about it. If you sailed through it, then good for you. Sometimes when we're initially new to a program like Keto Under 20, we can sail through it because we don't socialize that much. We stay off of social media where it's food porn in every other picture. We stay off of social media where people are talking about blowing it, and you're starting to feel like, wow, everybody else is doing it, so I lose a week. So I'm kicked out of ketosis. So I gain a few. Oh well, it was worth it. Okay, if you feel that way, but if you're kind of humbled by how your addiction kicked in with a force that, wow, they should name this like a hurricane. That's what category is the worst? That's what this was. Feel your feelings and don't forget how you felt at the end of the binge, at the end of the meal, at the end of the fear of missing out, the FOMO. And so you just caved. Remember those feelings. Not what you ate, not the permission you gave yourself, not all of that. Remember the feelings of coming out of that fog, coming out of doing it, and how you wanted to say, and maybe you did say, never again. Because it doesn't have to be again. You can make yourself strong. I know somebody that was traveling, and 2 people actually, and hard-boiled eggs in their cooler was a staple along with peanut butter. Maybe there were some celery sticks and things like that, but definitely packed some of those meat sticks that are quite portable. Good probiotics in them too. And so, we cover our butts and we cover our food program, and then we hold on tight. The support system that we need may not come from your family and your best friends or your former best friends that still are partying and eating and drinking and have no rules. You might find yourself like, this is more than just a change in what I'm eating. This is a whole lifestyle change. My parents, I need to ask for their support, and they roll their eyes and they say they'll support me, but are they really? My friends, or used to be friends, I'm not being invited out anymore. I guess it's kind of okay with me, but I might be lonely. So you turn to places like this. We all do. I've had a podcast or 2 about the feeling of being a salmon, especially when it's party hardy time with friends that you're still maintaining even though you have nothing in common with them anymore, or family that they just roll their eyes and it's like, oh, here she goes again. What is it that she's eating or not eating now? That horrible, almost emotional abuse. So you need to find your support and validation from other places. And maybe that's why I started this podcast. I've been doing it for 2.5 years, through my Weight Watchers journey, into my low-carb, high-fat journey, into my Keto Under 20 journey. And, it's a great place to get comfort and support and validation. And you're not crazy, girl. Look at all of us that are doing it. We just don't happen to be in your backyard, at your party. You're not walking with us, every day so we can have these chats. It's how it is. And thank goodness that we do have YouTube and Facebook and all of the places that we can turn, not to mention all the books and articles that we can read for support. But it's a whole new way of dealing with it, and we find that it has its challenges. But if you got through yesterday, good for you. The rest of the summer is ahead of you. Keep doing what you're doing. And if you didn't, learn the humbling lessons, because they are there. Don't brush it off. I'm not going to say they're there. That's okay. You're only human. You are only human. But you did it nevertheless. Feel those feelings. Because when I stub my toe, you're not feeling how that feels. When I stub my toe, or when I eat something I'm not supposed to, because I had that fear of missing out, I need to have that full panoply of feelings. So the next time I'm presented with this, I can do what I need to do to cover my butt, even if it means looking odd and ordering something odd at the places that you go, or eating before you go, and then just bubbly water through the rest of it. It's what we do. It's a sacrifice we make. You might not be skinny, but you might be on your way to being skinny, and you want to keep the momentum going. You don't want to blow it because everybody else is. Haven't you already done that? Isn't that why it got you to a place like here, right? We blew it so many times, and we don't want to. So we need to seek our support here. So the fear of missing out has humbling lessons. You may have had to learn them. You may have avoided them, but we always need to keep up front that our issues with food are bigger and different than those normies out there. And those normies could be food addicts just like you and I are. They just haven't gotten that far yet. So be the power of example to yourself if nobody else is believing in you. You can do it. And I will give you high fives and pats. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food. FOMO has humbling moments. Bye-bye for now.